Let's go, baby. All right. All right. So check it out. The reason that I picked that song is because when they see me, they're like, what? Like, that don't match. You know what I mean? It doesn't match at all. A redheaded white dude coming out to like one of the most badass club bangers in hip hop. It just don't work. So let me ask you guys a question. Who here is from around this area? All right, so everybody else from out of town. So do you guys have the cicada thing that we have here? Right? They're everywhere. All right, so as a matter of fact, I'm not washing my Jeep for like a month because we took out, like there was about, I don't know, maybe 1,000 cases of involuntary manslaughter on the way down here where they're just crushing your windshield. But that's been like anytime you go on a road trip, that's kind of what you see when you get home is like all the graveyard on the front of your car and your windshield and everything else. So, but I've always wondered, like, you know, do those insects have like a final thought before they meet their maker? So we're driving down, and what was a hour and 20-minute drive turned out to be an hour 50, so we had to make up some time. And we're taking these cicadas out like left and right, and they leave a big old nasty splat on the windshield, make a big old thump. It's crazy. But dude, it was like, there was one, I think it was the ringleader, because like we're going down this country road, all right? Should have been listening to John Denver, but we weren't. So we're driving down this country road, and like, dude, I think it was the ringleader, because like a mile out, we made eye contact. And we made eye contact, and it was like, who's gonna give? It was a game of chicken. So here we come. All right. I'm leading up to a really bad joke. I need your support. All right. So here we come. This cicada's coming at me. I'm coming at him. Jim's starting to wonder. He's riding with me. He's like, Nick, are we really doing this? It's going down. All right. And about a quarter mile out, it got in slow motion. All right. And there's eye contact, and we're locked. And it's me or him. It's me or him. And I found out what the final thought is, what the last thing that go through an insect's mind before they meet their maker. Anybody know what it is?
The windshield. Ass.
It's ass. That's right. It's butt. It's butt. That's the last thing that goes through. All right. All right. Stand up a little bit. This is not a eulogy, and it feels kind of like one. All right. So I know y'all been getting your butts kicked. You got to have a little butt left. All right. We good? Take a deep breath with me. Give me another 2 clap and a woo while you're standing. Come on. Come on. All right, let's go. All right, you can have a seat. So listen, when I come out to do these things, like what I'm about to say to you will not change your life. All right? But what you do with the information might. And I really struggle with going to church. I'm a man of faith. You saw it right there. You see it right there. I really struggle with going to church. Here's why. Church is great for raising kids. It feeds my wife big time. Here's why I struggle with it. I watch in my congregation the same 350 people get it every Sunday, and nothing changes. They go out there, they get fed, and they do nothing with the information that they just heard. Why even go and waste your time if you're not going to do anything with what God just poured into you? Okay? It really bothers me. It really bothers me because I want to be around winners. Right? I want to be around winners. So it's my mission to change that. Right? And we're going to start today because I'm going to give you guys a lot of good tips, a lot of nuggets, and I hope you will apply what we talk about today. This is an interactive conversation if you don't know. Okay? So the application is everything. From now on, the rest of your life, it don't matter if you can't use it. You've got a tool in your tool belt. If it's a hammer, if you don't know how to put that nail in that wall with it, it's useless. Okay? So everything we're giving you today, you came here, right? That's a first step. But it don't stop when you leave. It's got to continue. Okay? The difference in Nick when he didn't have money and the difference with Nick when he did have money is that one simple thing. Okay? Fair enough? Awesome. So, you got it, baby. Technology, baby. There you go. All right, so 2 problems before we start. We talked a little bit about the daily application. The next one is affiliate marketing. Guys, affiliate marketing has a bad rep. Who knows what affiliate marketing? Anybody? Yes, sir.
Yeah, you just use other people's network to promote your stuff.
All right, flip it around because anything that goes one way is stupid. Everything's got to go two way. Loyalty, trust, communication, right? Partnerships, they got to go two directions. All right, so say what you said again, but let's apply it both directions.
Using other people's network and sharing your network with them to promote each other's products.
There you go. That's exactly right. So, guys, this movement is unbelievable. All right? The only problem is that there's not 1,000 of you. Okay? So how do we double the size of this room today for the next one? It's real easy. Each of you bring one. That's all. That's all. Who here committed to bring somebody and didn't? Tried. Let's talk about why it didn't happen. Right? That's the application. Guys, affiliate marketing is everything. The way I look at it is I'm a jerk if I know somebody that solves your problem and I don't connect you. Okay? I learned something from Jim Caden, who owns a lot of big-time real estate in downtown Nashville. Dude, he ain't had a spot for lease in a decade, yet there's a for lease sign at every one of his properties. So we asked him one day, why is there a for lease sign out there, dude? You ain't got no availabilities. He said, because I want the traffic, I want the leads. I control where the lead gets sent. Right, so the best affiliate marketers control the most market share. Everybody's here to grow, probably grow a business, grow an audience. Isn't that a great way to do it? By providing value to others. Make sense? So, guys, every one of you today needs to make a pact, a commitment to getting one person to come to the next one. This is EV13, EV14. They need to be there. I don't care where it is. That's how you double the room, just like that. Okay? Have the same congregation with churches. How do you double your memberships in a year? Each member just bring one. That's how easy it is. Okay? That's how you go from 350 to 700, 1,000 to 2,000, right there. It's that easy. All right, so check it out. Here's what to expect today. We're going to talk about finding your brand DNA. All right? Your personal brand is what you're known for online. All right? That's your personal brand. If you have a big online presence, you have a big personal brand. If you don't, you have a small one. We're going to talk about how to grow your personal brand through creating captivating content. We're going to talk about content consistency. And we're going to talk about how to use those as weapons of mass distribution. All right? Now, again, this is interactive, so I put Q&A at the end, but just raise your hand if you got one for me, all right? We'll deal with it right then and there. So beyond every transaction, there's a story. Every single one, there's a story. Here's mine. So I'm a husband and a father. All right, that's a picture from Easter Sunday, just a few weeks ago. I've been owning businesses for a little over 15 years. We've been in branding and marketing, however, for over 20 years. Since 2015, my wife and I have launched over 150 small businesses and insurance agencies. We've generated over $200 million in revenue in that time. I was fortunate enough to play 6 years of professional baseball. My wife and I and a couple buddies of mine owned 6 restaurants and nightclubs in the downtown area. I'm the president of a company called Team Hyder, which is an umbrella company for everything, but it also serves as the name of our original insurance company that started everything. I'm the president of Processing First Solutions. That's in a partnership with a buddy of mine that goes by the name of The Real Brad Lee. Nick referenced the studios. I'm the founder of HitLab Creative Studios. I'm the host of the Hitstreak podcast and the voice of SiriusXM's The Alternative Radio Station. All right. Now, I want to talk to you guys a little bit about the podcast and the studios. The reason I built the studio and the reason that I have an agency is because I went out and I let other agencies serve me and they failed. All right. They weren't getting me the results that we wanted. So I ended up building an all-star team and that became a company. People wanted to use it. The podcast, before it monetized, was by far the greatest tool in my tool belt as far as networking. There was so many people that I needed to get in the room to have a conversation with, and I had no reason to get them in the room until I had a podcast. Who here has a podcast? Awesome. How long have you been doing it?
Since 2020.
2020, how many episodes, give or take?
120 or so.
120 or so? So here's a little advice for you on that. So the moment that we've ran, I think the one that comes out tomorrow is like episode 135 maybe. All right. Started the podcast 2.5 years ago. It came out, first episode was on a Tuesday. We have not missed a Tuesday since. All right. Who here has ever heard the name Wally Pipp before? Any baseball fans? All right. So Wally Pipp was the first baseman for the New York Yankees, and he took a day off. The guy that went in on his day off was a guy named Lou Gehrig. And Lou Gehrig played the next 2,100 days in a row. Wally Pipp lost his job on a day off. So when we released our podcast on a Tuesday, I realized pretty quick that I became what people did on a Tuesday. And the moment that I don't keep up, I might lose them. Make sense? So it's all about consistency. It's all about consistency. Podcasts that drop randomly, how do they know when to look for it? You know? So I wanted to be something that was a part of people's life every single Tuesday, like clockwork, and we can't miss. That's the one thing I took from the Facebook movie, what was that called? The Social Network. They said in the very beginning, it's like the one thing Facebook can never do is go down. It's got to be up, right? Guys, isn't that life? You got to show up every single day. Isn't that how it goes? All right. So, do you guys believe this? Champions are not born, they're made? Yes. Who would argue with that? It's okay if you do. There's proof right there. All right? There's proof right there. I'm just like y'all. I grew up in a very awesome middle-class, middle-income household, had great parents, and I, too, let my butt touch the water when I was barely old enough to sit on the toilet, just like y'all did. You know what I'm saying? We're all the same. I played college baseball where I was on a music and baseball scholarship. Everything I've done, guys, I started here and I ended up at an elite level before I was finished. There's a look into professional baseball. That was AA on the left and AAA on the right. That logo right there, that little cat's one of my favorite logos ever. It looks like it should be on like a real cartoon, like Looney Tunes or something like that. Like they did a killer job with it. We own nightclubs. I found out as an introvert I didn't like crowds. The DJ booth was the place where I could get away from everybody. Right? I also like to control the revenue, and the DJ does that too. You decide when people dance, you decide when they drink, you decide if they leave. All right? So I like to be in the puppet master. That's my wife. That is the night of our very first date in 2003. Sorry, 2007. Good Lord, 2007. I met her in 2003, and she blew me away. I asked her out right then and there. That was our first date. Again, that was 2007. All right? Persistence is key, guys. My son was born in 2009. We got married in 2014. I was still getting my stuff together. I don't recommend taking your kid to your wedding, all right? Unless you have to. That's kind of our story right there. First date was in 07, got married in 14, and then we were so broke in 14 that we didn't have the money to pay for a reception, so we had to punt it till 15 so we can invite our family and friends and give people enough time to do us enough favors to put on a reception for everybody. All right? Guys, in 2013, I was flat broke. I didn't have a pot to piss in. To get my insurance license, I had to borrow $350 from my daddy from the parking lot of the place where they offered me the spot, and I realized I had to pay for it right then, and I didn't have it. All right, so I gave them the old, I got to go to the bathroom. And they were like, are you leaving? They knew. They could smell me out. I said, no. I went out the parking lot, borrowed money from my dad, and he said, this is the last time. And that was the greatest gift he ever gave me. All right? My daughter was born in 2021. We're potty training right now. Let's talk about that. All right? It's a good time. Honestly, I don't know, like I can't even hardly remember life without her. She's something else. This is what we look like today. All right? Family's everything, guys, right behind your faith. So anything that you're doing, you're here. I hope it's for you to build your faith so that you can take it home and spread that to your family, man, because everything that we do is for them. Since 2016, my wife and I have had unprecedented success. It's been amazing. And we've been featured in some of the biggest news outlets out there today. My podcast, check that out. Those are just a few of the awesome dudes that I get to hang out with on a regular basis. It's incredible. I hope each one of you decide to do that one day, right? Tomorrow. As in one day, I mean tomorrow. All right, so let's talk about your brand DNA. I work with a company called Brand Builders Group that's amazing. They're absolutely fantastic. Their framework is second to none. Day one of my first day with Brand Builders Group, they asked me 3 questions. What one-word problem do you solve? Do you have an expert bio? And do you have a brand positioning statement? So, let's talk about what those mean just a little bit. The one-word problem that I solve is faith. Okay? And I got a little notes here. Literally, this is literally taken from at church yesterday during the sermon. I use what's happening in other people's lives to grow their faith, and then once they find faith in themselves, connect it to God. I use my brand positioning statement as proof and sources of courage that others have done it already so that you can too, right? So my one-word problem I solve is faith. My brand positioning statement is breaking down the playbook of top performers so that you can get to that next level too. So let's go back to that one-word problem that you guys solve. Who would want to take a stab at this for a second?
Leaks.
Leaks? Leaks. All right, so let's talk about that. So let me show you, I showed you my brand positioning statement. So leaks, how would you build a brand positioning statement around that? Because guys, all your content that you make, your website, all your advertising needs to point at that statement.
He's a urologist.
Really?
Taking your investment one day at a time.
So I got a funny story for you.
He's joking.
Oh, you're not a urologist? I'll let it go. Because, I was going to tell you a vasectomy story. No. Do y'all want to hear the vasectomy story?
Yeah.
All right, so I like to have a good time. And I wanted to take a really tense situation and figure out how to make it less tense for me. So, they're going to put you in the chair, stirrup style, to do this. And I was like, huh? Well, there wasn't stirrup. Your feet are up. They got to get in there. So I was like, I want to leave him a note. There's only one place you can leave him a note for that, right? So I got my Sharpie and I gave it to my wife and I was like, we got work to do. Okay? So I didn't know, though, that the nurse was going to be the one that found it because she had to clean you up first. All right? You should have heard her laugh when she came in. Oh, my God! Because there was just like a slanty face emoji, like I'm not sure about this, and it said, be kind or something like that, be gentle. Right? And she was like, I got to clean this off. And I was like, well, it's for the doctor. It's not for you. That's selfish. So go get him and bring him in. Needless to say, I'm the one I always like to be remembered. And I'm pretty sure that I will always be remembered by that guy that performed that vasectomy, right? So, all right, so leaks. Let's get back to you for a second. Leaks. Go ahead. How would you build a brand positioning statement around leaks? There's really not an offer in there. It just says what I'm about and how that affects you. Right? In one sentence. That's a brand positioning statement. Okay? Think about that. Who else would want to go? I'm going to come back to you. All right? Who else would want to go? Yes, sir. What one-word problem do you solve?
Branding.
Branding? All right, let's talk about that. Go for it.
Yeah, so, I already kind of have a statement similar to this, so.
Come on.
It's, helping businesses stand out and rise above.
Okay. That's good. That's solid. We'll look at an expert bio in a minute. That's good. That's good. Who else got one?
I got one.
Yes.
This is the right word because you kind of challenged me a little bit. I like these 3 words, but I would go with abundance, but that's really not a problem. It's more of like an opportunity.
Well, maybe they have a lack thereof, right? So again, mine's faith. That's not a problem, or is it? You see what I mean? So abundance. Well, how would you build a brand positioning statement around abundance?
Yeah, so I've been working on that. So what I've come up with that I pivoted to last year was living life the way God intended in life, money, and business.
That's good. I dig it. Okay, cool. These are awesome. You want to come back to leaks over here? Well, maintenance, what's the root of maintenance? Maintain, right? So it's something that's kind of ongoing. It's regular to keep from bigger things happening. You know what I mean? Peace of mind type thing.
So I had a roof protection program.
Yeah, budget friendly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Isn't it cheaper to pay little bits along the way than it is to get slapped with that one big one?
It is.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Peace of mind. Stay around peace of mind, budget friendly, right? Think about that. So that's my brand positioning statement. Guys, here is what a bio looks like. When I first gave them brand builders my bio, dude, it was just like probably most of y'all's. It was like 14 pages long. I listed everything on top of how much lunch money I left third grade with. You know what I mean? Like it was everything. So they got it in there like, Nick, I'm not going to read past like the first 3 lines. It's got to be a little more captivating. It's got to be precise. It's got to make a statement. So everything that we've done, I'm 43 years old. In 43 years, it's right there. Right? So it's got to be short, precise, and kind of awesome. Okay? So if you guys, that's on my website, nickhyder.com, super easy to find. But if you guys want to take a picture of that, go for it. We're also talking about content. So everybody get out your phones real quick. I hope you got an Instagram. We're going to do a little story. We're going to do a little story. Oh, they don't have them in here?
No, they're good. They're right here.
Oh, perfect. Do what? Service ducks in here. That's all right. All right, guys, you're here. You are here, which means you're taking the next steps to grow whatever it is that you're growing. You should tell people about that. It's a good thing. You should be proud of it. Okay? So when you open up Instagram, you can start a story. You can tag me in it. I got a big audience on Instagram, and I'm going to share every one of them on the way home. Maybe when I get home. This afternoon, you can tag me in it. Anybody that follows me today, I'll follow you back. Okay? It's called social media. All right? So it's media that's also social. So if yours isn't performing like you want it to, it's probably not very social. All right? So everybody open up a story. We got everybody here. I'm right here. We're all going to wave and make a whole bunch of racket, and you guys can tag everybody as you're posting it. Y'all ready to rock and roll? I'll do one with you right here.
Make some racket, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Legit racket.
All right. It's pretty easy. Folks, we're here at the program EV13 right here in Smith County, Tennessee. Let's go! That's easy. That's all you got to do. That's how easy it is. You just make content. Okay? Remember when your teacher told you, guys, you're never going to have a calculator in your pocket at all times. You got to learn to do math, right? You got a camera in your pocket at all times. Use it. Use it. All right. So, do you guys believe, who here has kids? Awesome. So, at least somebody in your house is spending 8 to 10 hours a day looking at a screen. Most of you do too, and don't even realize it. All right? So, guys, what I believe is if they don't see you and they see your competitors, that's who gets the business. Who would disagree with that? They're spending 6 to 8 hours a day or more. Do they even see you? My favorite thing is when people tell me, dude, like, I get online and all I see is your stuff. I'm like, good, the team's doing a good job. Right? That's what I want. Who would think there might be a problem with that more is more on social media? Who here has the opinion that, like, well, can you post too much? Let's talk about that for a minute. Who thinks that that's real? That you could post too much?
Not if you have something good to say.
Well, on social media, they opt in, don't they? So when you make advertising material to grow your business, are you putting content out for people that don't want to see too much, or are you putting content out for people that need to see it a lot? Who's it for? Right? The people that don't want to see it, are they buying from you anyways? Right? That's not who you make content for, is it? All right? Do you guys put out content on a regular basis? Who puts out at least one piece of content per day? Awesome.
Getting there.
Getting there?
Took a hiatus for a while, but yeah, get back to it.
Go ahead. You do one a day?
For my personal gym, but not for like my personal brand.
Okay. So businesses come and go, man, and I hope you have an exit plan from your business when you start it. That's like a good idea to start with the end in mind. How do you exit? Okay. So when you exit, like if you have a personal brand, that's always yours. It's personal. It's your personal brand, right? And studies are showing that 58% of people are buying first from a company that has an established personal brand behind it. Okay? Think about it. TikTok shops, Etsy stores. Like, you don't always buy from the big companies anymore. A lot of the stuff you buy is from the little guy, like us, right? If they can find you. Okay? So why do you need to post? Like, my team's posting 4 to 6 times per day on every single platform, plus 8 to 15 stories. right? That's what your competition's doing too. How do you keep up with that if you're doing once a week? All right. So when you see a commercial on TV, do you only see it once and then it goes away? Do they keep running that sucker? Right? Tonight, there's going to be Friends reruns on, and that show ended 20 years ago. They're going to keep on running them because they work. Right? Guys, you want to be in front of people all the time. It's called social media. More is more. That's my stance. That's my opinion. People argue with it all the time. But like all the people that have been mentors to me, that's the play they did, and it worked. I did it, and it worked for me too. So what would be the reasons that you guys can't post at least one piece of content per social media platform per day? There's the big 6. Facebook, X, formerly Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. What's the last one? What am I missing? LinkedIn. LinkedIn. All right. Do you guys have all 6? Why? Do you have customers on LinkedIn? Not if you don't have a LinkedIn. Right? Twitter. I never surf X. But my stuff's on there every day, and I do go in there and reply to comments and whatnot. See who's giving support, right? It's great feedback. So why don't you guys have those platforms? Just because you have a personal struggle don't mean you have to let that affect the people that need your help. You can just not look at it, but you can still get stuff posted on there. You can be disciplined with it. There's cookies in my cupboard that I will not eat tonight. Fingers crossed.
Schedule from other apps that might help you out with work from that.
Absolutely. We're going to talk about some, like what you focus on grows. The little things are the big things. And we're going to talk about some tools that you guys can use to do that here in just a little bit. But first I want to know where you're at and like what choices you've made that led you to why you don't have it. Guys, every choice that you make is either taking you to your goals or away from your goals. Every single one of them, even the subconscious ones.
Yeah, I think.
Who's the content for? Them. And you're making it about you. That's selfish as shit, isn't it? Right? When you're scared, people have fear of public speaking. Bro, who's the speak for? Why are you making it about you? That's how I got my 3-year-old to overcome stage fright in 1 second. Right? Change your focus, shift your perspective. It ain't hard. It ain't about you. It's what you can do for other people. Right? Most of the things that are keeping you guys from moving forward in whatever it is because you're making it about you and not the impact that it has on somebody else. All right? There's a keynote speaker named, I believe her name's Brooke. I got to give her more credit. She's awesome. But she said the definition of impact is when you live out your God-given uniqueness in the marketplace. That's when you make an impact. Do you guys believe God put you here for a reason? Yes. What is it then? I think that comes with great responsibility. Right? And if you hadn't started living it out yet, when? When? You came here, is this the kickoff? Or are you going to go back home after you just got your butt handed to you for 2 days and nothing changes? There was about 10 years of my life where every January 1st I woke up in the same place I was the year before. Sound familiar? I think that sucks, but that's on you. That is 100% on you. And the moment that you can own that, you can change it. Guys, everything has to be your fault. Everything has to be your fault because that's the only way you can fix it. If it's somebody else's fault, you gave up control. Okay? I was coaching my son's 14-year-old baseball team this weekend. And, they were griping about the umpires, right? I'm like, well, the good ones are in the big leagues. Okay? You got 14-year-old umpires, right? But you got 3 strikes last time I checked. Why are you so upset about 1 pitch? Right? Could you have not swung at one of the other pitches before that you took that were right down the freaking middle? Could you have not been ready for that first pitch when you got in? Could you not have been more prepared so that didn't happen? Take responsibility, man. Right? Every problem that you have in your life, if you have kids, I want you to ask yourself, if your kid came to you with that problem, what advice would you give to them? And are you willing to do that on your own? These are all things that I had to learn. I've been doing things at elite levels my entire life, but at 33 years old, I was broke and lost. Okay? You should have seen the car we drove. It was my wife's Nissan Sentra that wasn't yet my wife yet. So technically it was her car. and it had like 2 fenders. It was the only car, and it started most of the time. Okay? Life sucked back then. It was hard. Being successful has been hard too. I just had to pick one. I choose the successful hard. I choose the winning hard, right? So going back to this, all the reasons that you, I don't use a lot of cuss words in my stuff, but guys, all the reasons you got that you're not doing, that's bullshit. Own it. Change it. Make time. Create time. Nick, I don't have the money. Not yet. That means you got to find time. Everybody's got time. All of you. Okay? It's what you do with it. And then when you run out of time, you'll probably have some money. And that's when you vet it out. Like, I have a team and they do great work. But for a long time, it was just me filming it, editing it, posting it. All right? So how did I make the decision to hire a team? The same way I hired the person that cuts my grass, the same way that we hired the household cleaner that cleans our house. At some point in time, my time became more valuable than it was on the lawnmower. If anything, it was just spend that 2 hours with my kids. That's when I vetted it out. Make sense? That's how you vet it out here. At some point in time, your time that you're spending on it will need to be spent somewhere else, and that's when you got to vet it out. Okay? That's when you do it. I could just talk about this one all day long. People can't buy from you if they don't know you're there. Period. It's your job to tell them. It's your job to give people the tools so that they can tell other people about you. Make sense? Guys, the buyer's journey is pretty simple. It starts with awareness. They have to be aware of you and what you do. From awareness turns into discovery, right? They're learning about you. They're learning about what you do. Are you good at it? Now they're going to start to consider, is this the person that I should do business with? Okay? The same way you buy, by the way, you all buy stuff, and you're all consumers. The reasons that you buy, are you making those the reasons that other people buy? You have favorite restaurants, favorite stores, favorite brands. Why are they your favorite? And how do you take that, what you practiced as a consumer, and flip that around to use on other consumers? You already have all the knowledge. You're living it, right? From consideration goes to conversion. People make choices. Sometimes it's with you. Once you've got them as a client, you can build a relationship, right? And last is retention. Warren Buffett said, the purpose of a business is to build a customer that brings new customers. Affiliate marketing. Right? Warren Buffett, one of the richest men on planet Earth, loves affiliate marketing. The best customers who? All day long. All day long. New money is the hardest money to find. Right? People have already bought from you, that love you, that like you, that's easy money to find, ain't it? If you have a relationship and there's two-way communication. Often. Okay? You're not going to be the guy that only reaches out when you need something, are you? I have two of my best friends in the world. They do that. When they call, I'm like, oh, crap. What do they need? Well, they need. Not one time do they ever call and say, Nick, how are you doing? What's going on in your life?
Consider you took away the best.
That's right. So, but I tell them about it all the time. You know what I mean? I tell them about it all the time, because if they're doing it to me, they're doing it to other people. It's not helping them out, right? Customers have to stand who they are doing business with. Bless you. They have to understand who they're doing business with. Right? So, guys, you might say, I have a kick-ass website. It says it all right there. There's a reason that people go to your website once and very rarely ever again. You know why? It does not change. But your Facebook and your Instagram does. When people want to validate the success of somebody else, they go to the YouTube and Instagram first to look at a couple of key metrics. Those are where people go to validate who you are and what you do. YouTube, who's owned by Google, and Instagram. Okay? So you got to have a presence on there. If you hadn't got started yet, you're not too terribly late, but it's getting there. All right, the reputation formula. This is where it gets real. Y'all ready to rock and roll?
Yeah.
All right, dude. So I told you before, your reputation is your your personal brand, your online reputation. Well, what's your reputation? It's your results times your reach. It's what you've accomplished and how many people know about it. All right. Who here does not have an iPhone? Bless your heart. We'll fix that soon. It's all right. Now, how did everybody here get an iPhone? The main company, Apple, right? Do you know what Apple does? You know what they're good at? They reach a lot of people, don't they? All of you know who Apple is, and you know what they've accomplished, right? So how many people know what you've accomplished online? What reach you got? I believe that just like, in school, we got graded with A, B, C's, D's, and F. Some of us maybe got more D's and F's than others. But some of us may have got more A's than others. But then when you got out of school, they stopped keeping grades, didn't they? So I think the report card when you leave school turns into your bank account. What kind of grade you making? Got to have something to measure, right? Got to have something to measure. So the reputation formula is your reputation equals your results times your reach. So how do you build reach? How do you build your reputation? Yes, sir.
You tell your story.
Tell your story. What's one of the easiest ways to tell your story?
Put it out on social.
Put it out on social. I just told people what I was doing today. Right? And you can too. Tell your story as many times as you can to anybody that will listen, because they might tell somebody else. The more people that know what you've accomplished, the more reach you have. When you go fishing, do you want a little net or a big net? Big. Right? Dude, social media is fishing all day long. Fishing with an F, okay? There's two types of content that you're going to make on your social media. Informative and transformative. Informative content marketing is information that is easily and quickly forgotten. Okay? Transformative marketing is information that makes people feel a certain way that is easily remembered. So you won't remember everything I said today, but you remember how I made you feel. Right? Content is designed to find your audience. Not everybody's for me. It's cool. There's like 8-9 billion people in this world. Right? I'll take give me 1%. I'm good. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot. There's enough to go around. And billions of people are online. So let's talk about this funnel here. Now, you're all dudes. Everybody here's used a funnel at some point in time, right? Maybe putting oil in their car or their lawnmower or something like that. Is that what a funnel is shaped like, though? The funnel don't get bigger at the bottom, does it? Well, but see, that's the thing. If you do it right, it does. See, remember going back to where the buyer's journey, awareness, discovery, consideration, conversion, client relationship, client retention. Guys, remember, super fans bring other fans. That's why it starts to open up again at the bottom if you do it right. So it's technically not a funnel, yet that's what we call it. Consistent is the key. Who here is anybody here that has posted at least one time online the last 7 days in a row? My man, good deal. Who else? Got a lady for it? She did it? Good. That's good. So we got two. Anybody else?
Somebody that does it.
Yeah? Talk to me about that. What are they doing every day? What's their goals?
You mean like reach or metrics or stuff?
Absolutely. You're probably paying them something to do something.
Yes.
How do you know if they did a good job?
We on our team meetings, they tell me what kind of traction we got or what was successful and what they're going to do next. What they need from us as a team.
What is when they're talking about growth, how do they measure the growth?
Engagement, I guess. Yeah, like what direction we got.
Like everybody here probably uses email marketing, right? Do you look at basic stuff like how many people unsubscribed, how many people opened it, how many people read it and stuff like that? Well, they provide that stuff on social media too. Think about your social media like this. If all your social media was one person and that was your marketing department, what would their job be? And how do you know if they're doing a good job? Would you hire them or fire them? right? Humanize all the automation in your life. Our CRM, her name's Iris. How's old Iris doing? Right? She's an old lady. It's an old lady name. Okay? What's Iris doing this week? How do we know if she's doing a good job? And do we need to find a new Iris?
Because you have more leads and then more clients.
Well, the point is like, you know, a lot of times we might look at these things and we don't understand them. So we just kind of keep them at a distance. By humanizing these things and you give them a name, it creates more of a personal relationship with something, an electronic tool. You know what I'm saying? So like, I believe money, like we've been blessed to have quite a bit of it, but every dollar, in my opinion, is a soldier. And when I send that soldier out, they can't come back without other soldiers. You know what I'm saying? So like, by humanizing everything, people have jobs. Who is anybody under the age of like 25 in here? That's awesome. So you come from a different world than most of us do. And it wasn't that long ago that like people were it, you know? So like, and the greatest companies had the best people that performed the greatest, right? Well, now there's an electronic element. So the only thing I know how to do is like, well, I understand people. So I identify with all these electronic elements as people. And that helps me gauge the success and what they should be doing if they're doing a good job. Just a little trick of the trade, right? Consistency is key, guys. It's all about consistency, just like anything else. All right. So I'm going to show you guys something. Let me look. This picture, this graphic is just a couple weeks old. All right. Let me make sure I save that because it's still trying to load here. There y'all are, your beautiful faces. All right. So let me go here. So let's see. That was 6,704 posts. As they sit right now, I'm at 6,756 posts. All right, so this is maybe like 2 or 3 weeks ago. Right there, it's at 44.1 thousand followers. As we sit today, we're at 45.1 thousand followers, right? That's the growth Instagram's getting right now. It's pretty solid. But the reason that posts number is circled is because Brad told me back in 2020 when I was going to do videos. There we go. Brad told me when I met him in 2020 when I was only using photos, he said, dude, use videos. It's going to make things better, right? And he was right. But he told me, he's like, dude, Hyder, if you do that and you do it consistently and you don't quit in 3 to 4 years, you'll have something that will scale a lot of things for you. You'll have an unbelievably valuable tool that you can use in business to help people. All right? Now, what we did know back then, he was right. It took a little over 3 years, and it was crazy because like we went from beating our head against the wall to like overnight, like literally one day it was just different. That's how it works. That's how it works. That's how it works in most things in life, isn't it? You know what I mean? A whole lot of work and all of a sudden it just clicks. All right? That's what happened for us. All right? But what we figured out is the timing, 3 to 4 years, that was based on me at the time doing 1 post a day and then upping it to 2 and then 3. If we'd have started it at 4 or 5, you know, it took me that 6,704 posts to get to 44,000 followers. So how do you collapse time? Post more. All right? Here's the thing. I could show you my reels right now. And some people are like, man, that one only got like watched 300 times or 500 times or 2,000 times, which ain't a lot. But guys, whether I post once a day or 5 times a day, they all perform the same. So let's just say they post, they only 100 people see them. Well, multiply that by 5, and that's your reach for the day. That's why it works. Okay? Less isn't more on social. It's called social media. All right? And when you post something, guys, you need to be around for the engagement because we're going to talk about that in a minute. Because like if I'd have met you and I said, hey man, how you doing, Nick Hyder? How you doing? That's what it's like when you post and you don't stick around to see what else happens and have conversations. You gotta engage, okay? So 6,704 posts. Guys, if you hadn't started yet, you're just behind, okay? The guys that I'm trying to keep up with, that I'm fighting to keep up with, they're further ahead than I am. They started sooner. Right? The man had more tools in the beginning. Yes, sir.
When you first started this journey, like, did you have some sort of content strategy, or were you just...
No, it was a whole lot of noise. It was just like, put something out, and we learned. There was at least 3,000 of those posts that did not have a call to action at the end. So like if somebody liked what they heard, they had no idea what to do and how to act. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, here's the pizza, and I stopped talking. Right? We're going to talk about that in a moment too. But guys, grow that post number. Grow that post number. I promise you. I promise you. it will be worth it. At worst, I knew when I started doing video, I knew that at worst, if something happened to me today, my kids would have hundreds of thousands of hours of footage of me. Okay? So if you won't do it for you and your customers, do it for your family and your kids. You understand? It's catalog. All right? Weapons of mass distribution. Guys, between podcast RSS platforms, radio, TV, social media, everything else, literally the more places that you can appear, it's awesome. Jim and I were riding out here today, not listening to my radio station, don't tell them, but we were listening to another one. We're listening to Y2K on the way out here on Sirius XM, and they're running my ads on there. We heard me on the radio coming out here. You know what I mean? And I get hit up every day with people saying, I heard you on the radio, heard you on the radio, heard you on the radio.
Does he not sound like he has a radio voice?
Y'alternative.
Radio face, too.
That's it. Radio face. Y'alternative on Sirius XM, right? They love it. That's how you do it.
Radio.
What's
Can I
that?
ask you, how are you doing on radio? And what's your call to action? What are you trying to get a brand awareness? Or?
On radio, it's all about audience growth. The goal for me is eventually to have my podcast on Sirius XM. So when I started it, that was I wanted to leverage that relationship, right? To get to a place right now, I'm the phantom voice. I never say my name until they say, hey, Nick, we need you to say your name so people know that it's you. That's where we're going. And then from there, I'll get the podcast online or on Sirius XM.
So it's like a clip from the thing, and then it's like, go to the podcast. Like, I'm just.
Yeah, most of Sirius XM is programmed. Okay, by the way, TV is called paid programming. You're being programmed when you watch it, just like social media. You can have an input on how other people get programmed, right? So on Sirius XM, for me, we go into their amazing studios. It's a great content source to shoot those things, but I cut all the stuff for whatever it is for like the next 2 months, and then they just run it, right? Just pages of stuff that I go in there and I read over and over and over again, and then they go in and they take it and they make it and use it how they want to, right? And I get paid in perpetuity and by page and so on and so forth, right? So not only is it exposure, but it's a nice little revenue stream. You know what I mean? Ain't a big one yet, but it's something, and it's definitely exposure. The exposure alone is worth its weight in gold. You know, there's vegetarians that see the Outback Steakhouse commercial on TV tonight.
But they're not gonna go to Outback Steakhouse.
They may not, but they might tell somebody about this. Hey, you like steak? Dude, you gotta check this out. Right? Not to mention that little social media post, they can send that to them in a text message. They can say, hey, dude, check this out. It's called sharing.
It's like a place for their friend.
Absolutely. Dude, everybody's consuming all of this information. If you're not a part of that information, you lose. You got to compete. Right? That's like we are day trading attention. We're day trading attention. Period. Got me? Good questions, though. I love this. Keep them coming. This is awesome. I want you guys to challenge this a little bit. All right? This is super. This is Frank Kern is one of the godfathers of copywriting. I've learned a lot from Frank Kern. Right now on social media, this is what he said. We checked it out. The numbers match. It's taking on average 32 touches over 20 days for somebody to go from a lead to a prospect, or a prospect to a lead, however you guys put that in your funnel order. All right? So 32 touches. Well, my dad would be like, you want me to email him 32 times? No. It could be a video on Facebook. It could be YouTube. It could be LinkedIn. It could be a text message. It's any digital touch. All right? So what your content should be, goodwill plus offer times frequency equals money. Well, you're like, Nick, what's goodwill? Well, you posted it for free. That's goodwill, isn't it? Put it out there, right? For free. Within that goodwill video, there's going to be offers. Some of them subtle, some of them not, but you got to make offers. If you like what you're hearing, this is what you should do next, right? And then if you do that a lot, it equals money, okay? Most company owners are just like I was when it was like, I want to not pay a lot of taxes. I don't want to spend a lot of money on Facebook ads. When really, I should have been asking myself, how can I spend more money on Facebook ads? Because that means we're bringing in more revenue. And if I want to pay more taxes, what does that mean? Made more money, right? So I was focusing on all the wrong things. Guys, like when you make an investment into something, we are drastically increasing some of our staff, okay? It's a big investment in there. So if you make decisions based on that investment, and you're like, man, like how are we going to make this work? Guys, those new staff members are going to bring new revenue. It's not going to be the same revenue. It's an investment in it, right? So that's the biggest mistake a lot of small business owners make in the beginning is they're thinking about all the things they got to do to like, I can't spend. No, you got to ask yourself how. Because if you're spending more, that means you're making more, right? You found something that works and you're putting money behind it. You understand? It's just a perspective. Every piece of content, you'll see mine, they all have this now, finally. I wish I could go back and get those 3,000 back, but I can't. You don't have to make that mistake. Guys, I've got probably $250,000 to half a million dollars worth of personal development and branding and marketing things that I've invested in to learn. All right, that's a lot of that is what you're getting today. Okay? They say the first 3 to 4 seconds, dude, I think it's like the first second to the second and a half, you got to get somebody's attention with a hook on any clip or video you post out there. All right? Then you got to have offers. All right? And most importantly, you got to have a call to action, meaning like if they like what they saw, what do they do next to get it? Okay? It might just be like and subscribe for more. Okay? A pastor asked me the other day, Nick, would it be okay if we just said, like, comment, prayer, if you just want us to pray for you? I was like, that's a great idea. People are literally volunteering that they're interested in what it is you do. And the haters, by the way, the people that go out there and throw shade, dude, it's awesome. Like, objections are buying signals. People don't take time to object into something unless they're like considering it. So no, dude, why? Why no? Whatever they're about to say next, that's all I got to do to overcome, and I got their business. You know what I'm saying? So hook plus offer plus call to action equals money. A lot. Frequency. My son is the king of our house on YouTube. Okay? I don't have a post on YouTube that's been watched 1 million times. He has 2 of them. He's 14. That was the goal. He's, Dad, I got to have a YouTube. Only if you learn how to use it as a tool. Right? So that means you got to post content every day. All right? What do you want to post about? It took him a while. He said, Dad, I want to post about blitzball. I'm like, what's blitzball? He's like, it's like wiffle ball. I'm like, all right, cool. And that's a thing? He goes, yeah, I think it could be good. Like clockwork, unless he gets grounded. Okay? He's been putting out content, and like every one of his posts gets watched 6, 7, 8,000 times. He's 14. He's kicking all of our asses, and he's 14. Just by posting on YouTube. I got to get him an Instagram next. Right? He's growing on it. He's got like 12, 13,000 subscribers on YouTube. He's 14. Imagine graduating from school and having tens of thousands of people that follow you. These are not like just classmates. These are real people. I have to watch every comment on all of his stuff because there's some nasty people out there. He's 14. Right? So like thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of comments I have to read. My email has hundreds of them every day that I got to go through, right? To make sure, like I said, you can comment to that one, you can reply to that one, and so on and so forth. I got to teach them how to use it, right? It's unbelievably powerful, okay? So he inspired me. I'm like, man, if he can do it, I got to figure it out. You know what I mean? So I told the team, I'm like, guys, who here is getting fired and replaced by my son for YouTube? Because he's kicking butt. Bottom line is it's shareable content. That post that's been so many times been shared over and over again. 3 tips for shareable content. Strong opening hook, verbally and visually. Okay? Being bold and or controversial. Guys, controversial can be shining light on dark things. There's a positive way to attack everything. Okay? Because you represent your family and your business, which means you have an obligation and responsibility to live your life a certain way. All right? And then a properly positioned call to action. There it is. You have about 1 to 3 seconds to grab somebody's attention. You need something that's going to trigger people to engage or interact. If you don't have a call to action, you can miss out on hundreds, if not thousands, of new followers and audience members like I did for the first 3,000 posts I made. Social media. How social is your media? See? It's not hard. Save it. It's easy. All right. Now, I talked to Nick a lot about this. I think Nick Alfano is one of the best keynote speakers on planet Earth. It's unbelievable. I get something new out of it from watching him every single time. Just from a keynote, just from you taking a sales call and filming it, whatever it may be, you just created long-form content. That sales call is an hour, you just got an hour video out of it. You can cut it up into 4 15-minute clips or 6 10-minute clips. You got some medium form content. You can break it up into 60-second or 1-minute pieces of content. The same sales call. You can create B-roll from it, setting up your computer, whatever it may be. Put some music on top of it, just, footage of the call itself. You can create carousel and photo content, meaning like there's a photo at the beginning that they swipe over to get to the video. Very attractive. You can take that same sales call and turn it into a podcast. You can upload it as video, or it could just be audio only. Yes, sir. Got it. All from recording one sales call. So when people say, Nick, I don't know what to post, get out of your own way, dude. Just turn the camera on, whatever you're doing. You are the content, right? You're the content. Some of the most fly by the seat of your pants, or what's it called? I'm having a loss for words here. When it's not staged, it's raw. What's that word, Jim? We talk about it all the time.
Organic?
Not organic. No, it's like, huh? Yeah, it's not staged. It's just like you being you. It's off the cuff.
Reality TV.
You know what I mean? It's basically reality TV. That's right. So, guys, it's all right there. Turn the camera on. It doesn't have to be staged. You don't have to have a set. Just turn the camera on, record it. And if you can light it and make it sound good, that's going to help you out a lot. Okay? If it's painful to watch, painful to listen to, most people, like, they run away from pain. Okay? Doing one 90-minute content session with an agency, all right, can provide, what's 15 plus 30 plus 25? 70. That could be 70 posts right there. From one 90-minute content shoot with an agency. Everything you got to do has got to be on purpose. All right? So here's how I keep up with all the comments on mine. 3 times a day, there's a 30-minute pocket. It's scheduled, just like everything else important in your life. Okay? Everything you do has to have intention behind it. Check it out. Guys, when it comes to posting, the people that can't do it every single day, you can just Google national holidays. There's at least 365 of them out there these days. There's Dog Day, Flag Day, just the dumbest stuff, Hot Dog Day. It gave you all the ideas right there. So put it on a calendar and make it intentional so that you can rock and roll. And any questions you guys got, because I know we're running close to the end here. What questions y'all got?
Gave you a ton.
How do you make determinations on the market for what you're going to do? For what you're selling?
A lot of times I ask, pay attention, whatever it may be, hire a professional that's successful in it already. You're most uniquely qualified and powerfully positioned to serve the person that you used to be. That's why you got to tell your story. Yes, sir.
Do all of your posts have an offer? I saw that in both.
Every one of them. Every one of them. It might just be like and subscribe for more. Okay? Call to action. The offer may be, hey, man, I'm just providing value, goodwill, whatever it is. Yeah, we shoot our content. We shoot calls to actions first, and then we shoot content aimed at those calls to actions. Just like everything else. You plug the GPS of the destination, the end, and then it tells you how to get there, right? That's how you shoot content. Start with the end and shoot forward. Make sense? What's important to you and what's the purpose of it? You know what I'm saying? So I didn't use schedulers on social for a long time because I'm like, Instagram knows if it was created somewhere else and put there, right? But then we got to a place where it didn't matter anymore. Okay, it doesn't matter as much as it used to either. It's always changing, it's always evolving. And like, check this out. I wrote this down in church yesterday. If this is kind of where I want to leave you guys, and I'll answer questions outside or whatever, as long as you guys need. But like, where is it here? All right, so in the story of the Bible, Abraham was tested. Anybody know how Abraham was tested?
Yep.
How's that?
Sacrifice.
Sacrifice
Isaac.
his son. All right, guys, would you guys say that Abraham was committed to that? To that command? Dude, It took him, baby's here, son's here, knife's here, right before impact, before that test was complete. Right? That's commitment. Like Noah, the flood, it took him 120 years to build the boat. How long have you guys been waiting for whatever you're waiting on? A couple weeks? A year maybe? Put it in perspective, dude. You know what I mean? If it was easy, everybody would do it. If all you had to do is post 30 times and make $1 million, then nobody would be posting 1,000 times. Put it in perspective. All right? Abraham, dude, you're always being tested. And I'm a big believer in there wouldn't be light without dark, good without evil. I'm a big believer in like the moment you make a good choice to change your life for the better, well, the dark side don't like that, and they're going to put all these obstacles and distractions in your way. You're going to get blacklisted on YouTube, Instagram, whatever it may be. Something's going to happen. People pass away, things happen. Okay? So at the end of the day, what's going to keep your focus to finish? Guys, God hides the gifts in the beginnings of something and the end of something else. And if you quit, you didn't finish, you don't get the gift. So the moment you make the commitments that you're going to make when you leave here, if you quit, you lose, and everybody else that you could have helped loses, and you wasted your time. This is an investment, and it's up to you to get a return on the investment you made this weekend. We focus a lot on Instagram, Facebook because we got great traction there, but we're also focusing on YouTube to build it. It's an investment. So it's not blindly throwing money, right? It's studying results. Studying results. Absolutely. You have a client. You serve somebody. There's somebody that you serve, probably somebody that you used to be. Right? So what did you need when you were at the early stages? Provide that for somebody else. The organic ones teach you where to spend the money, but then, dude, run it again. Again, they're running Friends right now on TBS, and that show stopped shooting or airing 20 years ago.
It has a bigger following now than it did prior.
The reruns are powerful, dude. Shawshank Redemption, every time it comes on, I'm like, oh, we're stopping what we're doing. You know what I mean? Like, that's the way it is. So run them. Run them over and over again. And when you get one that works, then put money behind it. Okay?